Here is the equipment you'll need to film your lecture series or interview. On the left we have a camera, microphones, tripod, the possibility of needing full lighting, a 3-light setup and a reflector. Okay, release the legs, like so. Nice and easy. Release the top legs so it comes to the height you want. Spread them out. There we go. Get it to the height you need it, so your camera will become eye level with the talent. Do up the legs. On the top here, there is a spirit level. So once you have your camera in place, you may want to make sure that that's in the middle. Underneath here there's a bolt. This is particularly good if you're on an uneven surface. Undo the bolt, put the bubble in the middle of the circle, a little red circle there, tighten it up. There we go. Now to bring the arm of the tripod up, untie this, pull it up, tighten it up. To unlock it, there is 2 lock options on the side here. This one at the bottom creates the pan. This one creates tilt. You'll see that more once we get the camera on there. To release the camera base plate, there is a black button at the back here. Swing it across, base plate comes loose. Now we can attach our camera. For this shoot, we're using the JVC Pro. Base plate attaches to your camera, matching holes. Put the camera in, do up the base plate. We've got our tripod facing the right direction. The base plate on top, and give it a little push down and it will lock in place. Tilt, locked off here. Pan, gets locked off here. With the locked off shot ready to go, we're ready to set up the camera. Let's talk about this camera for a moment. There's a few things you'll need to set up before you can shoot. First thing you need to get your hands on is an SD card, like this one. There's 2 slots down here. I suggest having 2 SD cards so you can film longer. You need your battery charged. Charged battery goes in the back. Grab the battery, put it in the slot. Oops, back to front. There's an arrow on it so you know which way to go. Grab the battery, put it in the slot. Click. Now your battery's on, in, and it can turn on. The last thing that's necessary to set up is your audio. Next thing to set up is your audio. Usually when we're filming a lecture series, we'll get the lecturer to wear a lapel mic like I'm wearing today. However, if you're out capturing an interview of more than one person, or a behind the camera interview on the street, shotgun mic is a fabulous option. I'll show you how to set up the shotgun mic, and then I'll show you how to set up the lapel mic. Shotgun mic goes through this slot. The great thing about this camera is it has 2 audio channels, so you can have a shotgun mic and an audio and a lapel mic going on at the same time. Screw it on. This stops the wind from hassling the microphone. Now this particular type of mic needs power from the camera. So plug it in. Remember which input you put it into, input 2. If you then had the lapel mic, which has phantom power, you can put that in. It doesn't matter which slot you put it in, but you can have that in a different slot. Now if we go back to the other side, we can see all the audio setup details. For setting up the audio on the JVC Pro, depending on which type of microphone you have, we'll change the inputs you need to put in here. We've got the Rode mic plugged in on input 2, which means it doesn't have line power or mic power. It has mic plus 48 volt, because it's getting its power from the camera. I will change this to input 2, channel 2, input 2. Over here you can see the different channels. Once you have your headphones set up, you can change the levels of the two different channels manually here, or you can set them both to auto. If we had a mic that used phantom power, such as our lapel mics, it'd be set to mic, and whichever input it's on, whether it's input 1 or input 2. This is how we set up the lapel microphones. Here is the on button. Insert the microphone and tighten to avoid rattles. This can be attached to the speaker. Hold down the button to turn it off. This one attaches to your camera. This is the receiver. The receiver has two cords, one for the JVC and one for a mic jack. Again, tighten to avoid rattles. Turn both microphone and receiver on. Test the microphone works. It should display on the screen. If it doesn't, the two will need to be paired with this button. Once the lapel microphone is set up, it can be attached to the JVC Pro. How to use the JVC. First thing you might want to know is here is how you open up the shutter. We've got a neutral density filter, which if you're filming outside should be turned on. Inside you don't need to. The gain, low, medium and high, the more gain you put on the camera, the more grain you'll get in your shot. So I try and keep it on low and boost the ambient light instead. Presets for white balances. This button here will decide whether this will be on focus or zoom. You can also program presets, autofocus or manual focus, or fully auto. This button here decides which slot it's going to record to. To release it, just press it, place it in, and then close the little SD cover. Now, let's turn it on and see what we're getting. Take a moment to load on. The on-off button is here on the other side. Off, charge, standby, which is on. You can see the two slots for the microphone. There's also the record button at the top, and a digital zoom in and out, which is quite slow. Take out your battery, press that button in, slide it out. To move your visor, you pull it out and then it will tilt, or push it back in to pack it away. Now here, as you can see, we have the screen set up. There's more menu buttons inside the camera. You can see those, where we can define the user, the display, we can review footage, and see what's on the card. Turn that around. You can see yesterday's shoot with the interview. It's there for us to watch. We also have some settings at the back here which control our shutter speed and our iris of the camera. Just get out of there. The shutter speed and the iris of the camera. Please go online and watch the in-depth tutorials on how to use the JVC. So on this side you can see that this whole audio kit comes off, and there is a plug here to take it off, and a place to plug your headphones in, or a separate mic. Here we have the headphones. You can plug those into the headphone slot. We're going to quickly set up for an interview with lights. So the way you want to set up your lights in a studio situation, is 3 main lights. You've got the key light, which is the closest and the warmest, which is off to the side of the camera. That will predominantly light the face. Then you have a fill light to the side, which we probably wouldn't need in this situation because there's lots of ambient light coming from the windows in this room. And lastly, you have a backlight, which lights either the top of the head, giving it definition from the background, or it can light the background, depending on what mood you're trying to portray. In this situation, we just need a little bit of extra fill on the scene because the lights in the room aren't adequate to get a good exposure. So we're going to quickly set up the tripods for the lights. Remember, our person being interviewed is sitting down. Tighten up the base. Now these get quite high, but as I said before, you want to have them set up with a sandbag. We're going to put our key light in this situation on the left. So you can see here the barn doors. This will allow you to open and close the amount of light coming in. Attach the light to the top of the stand. Make sure the stand is locked as tight as you can make it. Tighten the light on. We'll sit to one side, as usual, and point it at the subject. Now I'll put this in position and we can see the difference between the two lighting. Okay, this is with a single light set up in a room with lots of ambient light already. See how it quickly fills the camera with light. Single light shining directly on me from one side. I've got windows on this side to work as the ambient. If anything, a little bit of light on the back of the head would fill the problem of me blending into the background. Very easy to quickly set up a good lighting situation, even in a lecture theatre. This is the same shot, but this time with the light turned off, the key light turned off. You can see it's much more dull, background's much greyer, not as much definition in the shot, not as interesting or evoking. Just even one single light can make a huge difference to the composition of the light qualities of the scene. Here you can quickly see two light setup with one camera. If needed, a reflector may be needed in this shot to produce bounce light up under the subject. Reflectors like this are available. Refer to the manual as to where to get them from. It's very easy to get them set up. And you can see just how much that'll throw back on the subject, eliminating a lot of the dark shadows. The light on the right is set further away and higher. It has diffuse on, while the light on the left has no diffuse. The light kit also comes with coloured gels if you need them. There's also ambient light coming from the windows. We can clearly see how the lighting conditions with the lights on is a far more improved lighting situation than with the lights off.